One time Joel was talking, this man came up and he was talking, and he and Joel were talking, and I wasn't in the conversation. I'm just standing there, and the guy's just going off. Like, he's giving his opinion about this, his opinion about that, and Joel's just listening to him. And he's on and on and on. And finally, he left. And I looked at Joel, and I was like, did you agree with everything that he was saying? I mean, he was like, no. And I was like, well, you didn't say anything. And this was years ago. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell him? And he looked at me, and I'll never forget this. He said, Victoria, I wasn't put on this earth to straighten everybody out.
Wow.
And that made such a huge difference to me. It's like, right, I wasn't put here to straighten everybody out. And it really was a great lesson for me because, you immediately, you want to go, well, that's not necessarily true because, but when he said that to me, it was a real moment for me that I've never forgotten. And so I've learned now, if you're talking to someone who goes off or is just saying things that maybe it's a friend or an uncle or a family member, you're going to the Christmas party and they're going to get under your skin anyway. I've learned to just have a few pat answers. Like if someone is pressing you for an opinion about something, I've just learned to just say stuff like, that is so interesting, I have to think about that. Or just, just to rehearse a few pat answers helps us to just pause a minute, and we're not left empty. We're not left, just struggling with what we're going to say. We kind of already know, okay, that's fine. I don't have to have an answer for everything, and just that's what I've found helps me a lot and helps me with self-control because it's true. I mean, we weren't here to straighten everybody out. And you know what? Sometimes time is all you need.
Yes. At the dinner table, we've got 5 kids. Yes. There's a lot of opinions. And I'm trying to teach them, just because someone feels that strongly, you don't have to tell them they're wrong. You can just, like you say, listen. Maturity is realizing how many things don't require your comment. And if someone's upset or feels strongly, you actually protesting, what's it going to do? It's going to stir them up. And the Bible says actually a harsh word stirs up anger. And that's not motivated in love. But actually a gentle answer can turn away wrath. And that person having strong feelings, just letting them have those feelings, letting them be out there, not needing to change them. But I'm trying to teach my kids self-control, but actually I need to take them to the source because I can't just walk past the gym. That doesn't make me fit. Right. Just being near the gym.
I wish it did.
Just talking about self-control does not make me more self-control. It's teaching my kids, we've got to go to the source. I don't know about you, but I am not naturally a calm, measured person. My husband is. And so often we read about wisdom being, partnered with prudence and self-control. And prudence is that ability to basically sleep on it. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you just love to be that person? I want to be that person who doesn't need to react, can just sleep on it, can just be measured, can just act with caution. And teaching my kids just to go to the source. If you are finding yourself fired up, stirred up, angry is a valid emotion, but actually sleeping on it and saying, Jesus, help me to respond in a righteous, right way. And then there's no damage behind you. There's no strife that, you're calm in the storm, not stirring it up.
Well, that's what you're putting in you, too, when you think about it. Yeah, for sure. What are you listening to? If you're letting things build up in you, where you are like a firecracker, just waiting for somebody to light that fuse, So, I mean, that's something, like you say, to really think about, too. What is stirring you up? What gets you riled up, And so I think that's what we put in usually comes out.
And I actually think as well, it's a little bit about the way that you're wired, too. And you're saying if you're a firecracker, there are others who really struggle to come to the table ever. We have a natural inclination, whatever way we happen to be wired. And sometimes that self-control is just taking control of our inners and saying, okay, this for me looks like actually stepping up.
That's a great way to think.
And, we're all wired so differently. But sometimes that not speaking, this is where, if that's where you're inclined to be, sometimes it's the Lord saying, now, I have put a voice in you for a reason. It's time to use it. And you don't have to do that. Of course, if you're kind of quiet anyway, you're probably not going to do that in a very stirred up sort of a way. But it's so important that people hear your voice. And it's so important when the Lord is nudging you to do that, just as important as not letting people hear your voice when the Lord's like, thank you very much for your service. Be quiet.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload.
And don't forget to check out our Better Together shop. Thanks for being a part of our community.